I got 3 grade 9s in GCSE science, and this is everything that I would do from today if I was doing my GCSEs again this year. That CGP revision guide is not enough. You need those thick textbooks. These bad boys, if you know, you know. Have them at home as well as at school. I completely appreciate they're quite expensive, so if you can't afford them, borrow them from your school. That's what I did. You can get cheaper versions secondhand as well. But if your school won't let you borrow them, just negotiate. That's what I did. I just pled. Because basically, those textbooks have way more detail in them. CGP is great for revision. But when you're actually learning concepts, you need all of the detail. You need it explained from start to end. Make revision resources as you go along. For science, I found mind maps were really, really helpful, particularly for chemistry. For biology, I really liked diagrams incorporated into mind maps. And for physics, I loved the concept of having cheat sheets. If you don't know what these are, then check my playlist. I've got videos on how you make all of these. Make those revision resources now, because making the revision resources is revision in itself. And the act of condensing down so much information to just one sheet of paper is incredibly helpful. Conceptual understanding. Why are you doing all of these calculations? What is the science behind the calculations? I cried when I was learning about moles in chemistry, but I studied it so much that I literally couldn't get it wrong. And I got over 90% in my chemistry GCSE, so I'm happy with that. If you're struggling to understand the actual science and the reason behind things, use YouTube. You just need it explained to you in a different way. And there are loads of teachers on YouTube that will teach things in different ways. But remember, you only need to know certain things about certain things. This is why you need to use the specification. Okay, GCSE physics, you need to learn moments. If you search how to calculate moments into YouTube, you may get a teacher explaining how to do it in the level of detail needed for the A-level specification. And that is just a waste of time to learn right now, especially if you're not doing A-level physics, which I certainly didn't. And now you might think this one sounds a bit crazy. You know the importance of doing practice paper questions, you don't need me to tell you that. But I was doing a practice paper every single morning before school. For each of my subjects. I would wake up at 5:30 and do a practice paper, and then I would go to school. Some days, this was for science. Getting in that practice, allowing myself to identify my weaker areas and my topics for revision at this stage in the year, because you do not want it to be like May, and you realise, oh wait, I don't understand anything about the kidneys at all. By doing the practice now, you identify what you do and don't know. But before you do any practice paper, understand you haven't finished the specification yet. Go through it and put little crosses next to questions that you haven't covered yet. This is what I would do for every single practice paper. So you don't answer that question, basically. You deduct the number of marks from the total marks available, and that is your new time limit for the practice paper. That many minutes. Practice makes perfect in science. You need to understand how you have exam technique, how you work in time conditions,